Hi everybody, this is Anne. Freehand drawing can be a very intimidating endeavor even without the added complication of working on three-dimensional surfaces. By simplifying the drawing process to make simple dots and lines, you can create gorgeous designs without the intimidation. I'll give you my best tips for success to decorate 3 cups. For the first cup, I'll be using a trim spinner to divide the surface into eighths. Notice the eighths are marked by the color green. I set a small flat ruler over the center of my cup and centered the trim spinner on top of that. Holding the cup in front of me, I marked where the green lines hit around the rim. Now I'll be using a laser level to divide the cup vertically. Xiem has a link in the description section if you want to take a closer look at how these work. When I turn it on, I get an accurate straight vertical line dividing the cup. I used a pencil to trace each of the lines. I measured in between the lines and used that measurement to mark segments vertically up the pot. I used a pencil steadied with an L square to draw horizontal lines around the cup. They won't all be perfect squares as the surface is curved, but it doesn't need to be perfect squares for this pattern. Once those squares are in place, I wanted to divide the cup again into smaller squares. First, I divided the top line between each square. Again, I used the laser level to make the vertical lines. Then I divided the squares horizontally, so the whole cup is now as equally divided as possible. The more time you spend getting these lines just right increases your chances of success going forward. I'm using a pencil to start this design before painting, as pencil marks are easier to wipe away if I mess up. To start, I'm drawing dots about 1/4 inch on either side of every other vertical line around the rim. Moving down to the center of that square, I'm starting row 2 by staggering the dots about 1/4 inch on either side of the lines that I had skipped on the first row. I continue this pattern all the way down the cup. So you don't get too bored, I'll only do the first 2 rows of squares. The next step is to connect a curved line to each set of dots on the first row. Then I'll connect the set of dots along each of the other rows. Now I'm connecting the second row dot by curving a line around to join the dot next to it on the first row. I continue this pattern all the way around. I mirrored these lines on the other side from the second row up to the first row. I continued this pattern from the next 2 sets of dots. The first couple of rows can be easy to confuse, which is why it's better to start with the pencil lines first, but once you get into a rhythm, you'll see the pattern emerge and be more confident. For the painting, I'll be using a pointed bamboo brush. This one is a Princeton 00. I'm first painting the 2 dots and then connecting those dots with a line that connects over the top of the dots so that the lines extend out a bit from the dots for the illusion. I continued this series of bridges down the cup. I then painted the connecting lines from the inside of the dot on the bridge, curling down to the inside of the dot on the bridge below it. This is important for the illusion. also connected that top line around the border. And here's what I have so far. Can you see the illusion that they appear woven? Now here's one that I made earlier where I added a little extra dimension by carving the clay on either sides of my painted lines. You can also see how the pattern will appear different the wider or narrower you space your dots. I glazed the cup with my white liner glaze around each underglazed line to add more dimension to the surface, which enhances the woven feel. I glazed the border with light gray glaze. Let's do another cup with a different pottery decorating technique. This time, I just need to divide the cup into eighths around the rim in the same way I made the first cup. To decorate, I'll use this smaller sized ball tool. I simply dipped the ball tool into a flowing black underglaze, not too wet and not too dry, and dotted the center of the first square. I dipped again, and starting at each corner, dotted and pulled the line towards the center dot to create teardrop lines. I made more teardrops between each of those lines. Finally, I divided each of those lines again with the teardrops. Make sure you start your teardrops close to the border lines to keep that squared shape. Here's one that I made earlier where I added dots between each of the squares as well, then bisque fired it to cone 04. And here's the finished piece. I glazed light gray on the border area, a white liner glaze on the inside of the cup, and Amico C11 on the outside of the cup under the border. That pattern is so dynamic, catching your eye and moving it around the cup. For the last cup, I'll be doing a free-form design with simple lines. This time, I only divided the cup with a line at the bottom, giving it a bottom border, and a line at the top to delineate a top border. I wanted to fill in the center of the cup with a solid coat of black underglaze. I started with a smaller brush under the top border for a more accurate line. I did the same thing above the bottom borderline. I used a wider fan brush to fill in the center of the cup. I coated it with 3 layers to make it solid. I'm using a diamond core carving tool to create sgraffito lines in the black underglaze. I also cleaned up my border lines with this tool too. Without a specific plan, I start with a simple line curved around. I then mirror that line to connect the ends. Now I can work from that small shape and extend more lines to create a larger shape. Notice that I'm starting to vary my lines by increasing the curvature and the length, but still connecting them to the ends. I then drew another line from that shape and began to work lines from that. You can see that varying directions is another way to give the design starting and stopping points for your eyes, but still keeping the design connected. Now I'm looking for crevices between the shapes where I can again change direction of the lines to create smaller shapes between the bigger shapes. I continued in this way to fill the space, constantly changing direction, curvature, length, and distance between lines, but keeping them connected for a continuous pattern. Here's one that I created earlier where you can see that the lines really pull your eyes around the entire piece. I love that the center is so busy, but the vacant borders around it create calm again. Now here's the finished piece. I glazed the borders with a light gray glaze. I glazed the middle section with Amico C11 clear glaze. I hope these dynamic patterns give you some courage to try your hand at drawing. Give them a try. Thanks to the newest members of our Little Street Pottery Research Facility team. If you'd like to join the team and earn a title, click on the Super Thanks button or the link to buy me a coffee. In any case, we invite you to subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time in the studio.